Hi guys, this is Joel Kennedy with Kennedy Violins, and today I'm going to do a video on how to play your violin and avoid screeches and scratches. Now there's three primary things that you've got to be in control of to maintain the kind of sound that you want. 1, bow speed, 2, bow pressure, and 3, bow placement. Now the concept is actually pretty simple, but it does require a lot of practice to be able to control your bow and achieve the kind of bow speed, bow pressure, and bow placement that you like. But let me give you an example. Okay, so bow speed and bow pressure are very much related to each other. If I exert a fair amount of pressure on my bow, but I do not increase my bow speed, then I will get a scratchy sound. So let me show you. So I'm going to put about a medium amount of bow pressure on my bow, and I'm going to pull the bow slowly. Pretty horrendous. Okay, now I'm going to exert exactly the same pressure, but pull my bow a little bit faster. Okay, less scratches, kind of a gross sound, but we're going in the right direction. Okay, now I'm going to exert the same bow pressure, but now I'm going to pull my bow even a little bit faster. Okay, pretty good sound. It was ringing, it was fairly warm, and I didn't have any screeches or scratches. So all I did, I just picked up my bow speed. That's all I did. So generally speaking, as far as bow speed and bow pressure are concerned, if you have a screechy sound, you will probably have too much pressure or not enough speed. So either speed up your bow or exert less pressure on the bow. It's that simple. It just takes a lot of practice. But I'm going to show you guys an exercise to make it a little bit easier. Okay, now the third one is a little bit more involved. That's bow placement. Now again, the concept is actually very simple. You want to control where in the violin your bow is contacting the violin. Now this is easier said than done. Now with your violin, right, you have your fingerboard and your bridge, and you can place your bow anywhere in here to produce different kinds of sounds. But for today's video, we're just going to focus on keeping the bow in the middle between the bridge and the fingerboard, right in the middle. Now, most of the playing that most string players do, it's always going to be in the middle anyways. So, but the whole point is you being able to control where the bow is. So today we're going to focus on keeping that bow right in the middle. Now, keeping it right in the middle is easier said than done. But let me show you what happens when you do not keep it in the middle. So here it is in the middle. Right? It's fine. Now, I'm going to let my bow stray so it goes towards the fingerboard. Oh, not so good. Now I'm going to let my bow stray towards the bridge. Okay, kind of a gross sound, right? So if I can keep it in the middle, for the entire bow stroke, well, hey, that works pretty well. So basically it's about maintaining your set speed, maintaining your weight, and maintaining your bow placement where you want it. Now, maintaining your bow speed and bow weight is not terribly difficult in relation to how difficult it is for bow placement. Now, there's two reasons why a person's bow placement is not where they want it. And that is because of a lack of flexibility and not using the right joints in their body. So, let me explain. In your bow hand, you need to have a flexible bow hand. The easiest way to put yourself on the path to a flexible bow hand is to make sure that your pinky is bent and your thumb is bent. Very important. Pinky is bent, thumb is bent. I actually do a video and I show you how to hold the bow and I give you a whole bunch of exercises. You should check it out. It's a pretty good video and it makes it very simple. But bent pinky and bent thumb, it's very important. And the reason is very simple. Imagine yourself trying to run with locked knees, right? So lock your knees and try to run. Well, not only are you not going to be able to run very fast, but you're going to look really, really silly in the process. The violin is the same way. If you lock joints, you're not going to be able to play the violin that you want. You will not have the fluidity in your joints. You won't have the flexibility. You will have tension, and tension is our enemy with a stringed instrument. So bent thumb, bent pinky. Okay, that's going to enable you eventually to have the flexibility to be able to manipulate your bow to keep it where you want it. And I'm going to give you an exercise to show you how to do that. The other one is in your arm. Now, I'm going to do a more in-depth video about this, but I'm going to make it really simple today. You have two primary parts of your arm, right? You have your forearm and you have your bicep. And you have two primary joints. You have your elbow and you have your shoulder. You want to be able to move all of these, right? It's the same thing as the whole, locking your knees and trying to run thing. If you lock your elbow, it's going to inhibit your ability to control your bow. So let me show you what I mean. If I start off, this is what a lot of beginners do. They lock their elbow. So they lock their elbow and do not prevent, and that prevents their forearm from moving. To say it again here, they lock their elbow and they prevent their forearm from moving. So watch my bow. Good. Now you see how the bow went from the middle of the space that we want and it started going towards the fingerboard? So we didn't maintain our bow placement and then our sound went off, okay? Our sound was not so good. So what we want to do is we want to make sure we maintain flexibility. So we start the stroke with our bicep and we complete the stroke with our forearm. And we make sure we move the elbow. So we start the stroke with the bicep, then we complete the stroke with our forearm, moving that elbow. See the elbow? So if we lock the elbow, it won't work, but we let that elbow move. So bicep, forearm, forearm, bicep, bicep, forearm, forearm, bicep. So now watch the bow. Forearm, forearm, complete the stroke with your bicep. Forearm, complete the stroke with your bicep, bicep, complete the stroke with your forearm. You see that? So really that's how simple it is. If you can train yourself to do that naturally, to use your arm in that way, you will train yourself to have that flexibility. Now here's a simple exercise that you can do. This is the easiest exercise that I can possibly think of. You want to use, it's called the open string exercise. Now what you're going to do is you're just going to play from the frog to the tip, and you're going to keep that bow where you want it on the violin, and you're going to make sure you have bent thumb, bent pinky, you have a relaxed hand on your bow hand, and you're going to make sure that you're utilizing all of the joints in your arm. So you start on the G, frog to tip. Keep it where you want it. Good. Now D string. Right. Flexible, thumb and pinky. And I'm using that elbow and that shoulder. Right? So basically you're going to go from the G all the way to the E, then the E all the way back down. That's a very basic exercise. Now the next exercise after that is you'll do something more complicated. Maybe you do a scale, but you do it really slow and you control your stroke. And then you can do more difficult things. But it just takes practice, so don't get too frustrated. As long as you keep those joints bent and you're using them properly, you will eventually develop the flexibility that you need. It's just like a toddler who learns how to walk. The first time that they get up, they're all wobbly. They look like a mummy from a movie from the 30s or something, right? So they get up and they're all wobbly. It's because they have tension where they shouldn't. They're tightening muscles and using muscles that they shouldn't, and they're not using muscles efficiently as they should, that they need to, for walking, right? So eventually as they practice, they start utilizing the muscles they should, shutting off the muscles that they don't, and then they become more relaxed and they become more fluid in their motions. Violin is the same way. It's just like a toddler learning how to walk. So you just stick to slow exercises, you just do a little bit every day, and eventually you will get that fluidity and you will get that control in your bow arm that you're looking for to produce that really nice sound that you want. Well guys, I hope that I've answered a few questions today. If you have any others, just put them down below the video in the comments section. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the alert bell, so you get an alert every time I post a new video, which is quite a bit these days. And of course, here at Kennedy Violins, we're all players and teachers. Feel free to contact us anytime. Thanks.